the reason I don't use treats when I'm training, and I don't. I've found, at least with my dogs, that when I add treats to the training, now they're actually concentrating more on the treats than they are the training. They're more obsessed with if they're in your pocket or your hand or wherever, you have out a little pouch. They're more interested in the treats, and they're not concentrating on the words that we're using. I started RJ by giving him a treat when he sat. Good sit, good sit. But what happens is down the road, when I ask him to sit and he knows I don't have any treats, he just would look at me like, well, you don't have any treats. So I prefer my currency to be my love and affection and praise, because I have that with me all the time, and so there's no conditions on that. I do give my dogs treats. And now the one time RJ always knows he gets a treat is after he eats. I consider the treat dessert, and I love dessert. I have a sweet tooth. So after feeding, I give him a treat. But other than that, treats are random. They never know when a treat's going to happen. But it isn't my currency for training. My currency is love and affection. Now, you're doing your 10-minute sessions. You always want to start your session with the easy stuff. You may have a dog that already sits and heels really well, and even stays really well, and you're ready to advance on to other stuff. Even so, you still want to include that in your game. So you always want to use something that you can start off the lesson with praise. You always end your session. They're getting bored. You always end your session with an easy command. You're teaching them something new, and suddenly they got it and they did it exactly right. The new thing. You can end the lesson there. Overload them with praise and love, good dog, and end it there and start their reward. Heel. Heel. Good. Heel. 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 Very good. Good heel. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good heel. Toe. Good. Sit. Good. Good sit. Echo. Stay. 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 Come on. Come here. Sit. Good. Good sit. Good sit. Now echo. Stay. Good stay. Good stay. Okay. We're working on heel on a shorter leash. When we start out walking our dogs, we do a loose leash and just ask them not to pull on us. Once you get them not pulling, or at least correcting themselves, they're only bumping the leash every once in a while, you can shorten it up. When I first started her with heel, I started her on a longer leash just so that she would get used to the fact that now there's boundaries on the leash. Now, and she was doing really good with that. So once she got good with that heel, I shortened it up to this to keep her closer by my side. And it's harder for her. And we've got the distraction of the other dogs. But I need now, in the beginning we don't want distractions. But now I need her to focus on me no matter what else is going on around us. So this morning on our walk, it probably took us what usually I take like a 15-20 minute walk Took us well over an hour to get through our walk because she kept pulling. So we kept doing what you saw. Every time she pulled, I changed directions. Every time she pulled, I changed directions. Probably took us 10 minutes just to get to the trail. The disadvantage of not living with her is I don't have during the day, I don't have all the opportunities to reinforce the words that we've been learning. The reason the little 10-minute sessions and the reward sessions work is because then the rest of the time that you're living with the dog, you're practicing those words. You know, when you get a chance, ask your dog to stay and sit, and they do in these short, and so you're reinforcing it just living with them. I don't do short, I do the 10 minutes at a time lessons with her, but I do it over an hour or more period of time just because I need to spend the time with her. So we'll do a little 10-minute lesson, and then we'll do fun stuff, and then we'll just hang out in the bus, and after a while we'll do another 10 minutes. I try and give her at least 2 hours a day split up into 2 different times. Echo's sort of working at a disadvantage because I'm not living with her. She's living in a pen. Her other disadvantage is her high energy. You notice I don't do recall when I'm teaching stay. I always go back to the dog to reward for the stay. The reason for that is when you're just first learning stay and you do stay and you walk back and then you call them to you and reward them, they're associating that reward with the recall, not the stay. And then what the result of that is, you end up with sloppy stays. They don't always stay. They want to come towards you. Now, the other important thing about recall is if I recall a dog and they don't come, I don't keep calling them until they come and then chastise them for not coming. When your dog doesn't come to you, you need to go to it and do the disciplining. You can't call them to you and then discipline. That's one of the major things. Your dog needs to know, guaranteed, that when you call them to them and they come to you, there's always praise and love at the end of that. Now, that doesn't mean if you're doing a recall and you're playing recall games and you call them to you and you have to say it 2 or 3 times and then they come running, that's okay. Praise them for that. I'm talking about when they take off on you. So I always solidify stay before working on recall in the actual games. But recall in life, you can do all the time, any excuse. And even if, you can set your dog up to succeed. Like when you notice that your dog is going to come to you, or let's say when you're in the kitchen, they always come to you, then give them the recall before they do their natural come to you, so that you have as many opportunities as possible to reinforce that every time you come to me, baby, you're going to get loves. And I'm just a normal person like you with dogs, and I love my dogs and they're my family. And these are just ways I've figured out how to make my dogs great dogs. And it's not the quick, it's a lifestyle. Basically, it's a lifestyle of communicating and loving your dog. Let me know if you're trying out this style of training and how it's working out for you. And if it's not working out, tell me where, what's not working for you, and maybe we can figure out how to make it work. We're going to cover leave it. The most valuable words, I think, if you had to rate them, leave it is number 1. Till next week, love that dog, praise that dog, let them know you're their human.